Oh. So this is a meeting about non-duality. Non-duality is a very difficult word. Most people don't know it. But it's very simple. It's about good and bad. The world seems to be about good and bad, always about two things. And this message is saying there's only one. So that's strange, because if everything seems to be two and somebody is saying no, everything is just one, then how is that possible? And also this is also about there's someone. We are so convinced there's someone. You are someone. You have your own life. You have your body. And there's maybe for some people there's a search. For a lot of people there's just life going on and trying to behave well, to have a better life, to work hard, or every system has different issues and different goals. So there are people who are in the good, and then the people think they are bad, and so there is always a struggle. And that's not only in the individuals against each other, but it's also in more big things like countries fighting each other, different ideas fighting each other. There's always a lot of fighting going on, because there's always two things. So when there's one, there's of course there's no fighting. There's also no discussion. So when you don't agree to this, then there's just that. There's no discussion about what is the truth, or what is right, or what is the right concept. This is not about concepts. This message is just describing what is. And it's very literally. And what's happening when there's a human and it's getting like 2 years or maybe some earlier, the brain gets sophisticated enough to abstract. And when there's a contraction in the body, it seems like, oh, there's someone outside and there's someone inside. So there starts the separation. And then that's a feeling of loss. That's a huge feeling of loss. And in a way, also about not feeling good enough, in the sense of there's a loss, and like also old religions say, there's guilt. That's because of I did something wrong. I did something wrong. The world did something wrong. The parents did something wrong. But there's gone something wrong, and we have to make it right. So most of the people have something also like there's something not right with me. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy, or things like that. So there starts a search for being good enough, trying to be good enough, trying to do the right behavior so other people will like you. That whole system is then started, and it's not only thinking that's the best way. It's an embodied survival mechanism, and that's very strong, and that develops in. This is only in the story that develops in the years. And when there's a search, and there's trying to get better in all kinds of religion, maybe trying to get love, money, or relationships, and there can be a feeling like this is not it. This is not working. There has to be something else. And then there's maybe a looking into this kind of non-duality things, what in these days is very popular. And also there are a lot of different ways of explaining this. There are a lot of concepts about what is the message about non-duality. What is a lot of people and a lot of teachers are talking about there's no me, but it seems that there's also talking about there's a way of reaching it, or there's a goal, that there's no me. There's a goal, and I'm trying. The teachers say, I'm trying to help you to get there. That's very confusing, I think. What when there's no me, there it's very obvious there's never been a me. So there's also no there's no point in finding no me because there's already no me. It's already there. It's a misunderstanding that there's someone there. It's an you could say an illusion, but it's not there. There's just body, and it's not an insight. It's just what is happening on top of what's happening is that the abstract mind always is busy to name things, to make it some different, to get hold of it and to make something it to try to make it better or to do something with it, make an image of it. And when that falls away, it's suddenly seen, oh, it's just how it is. But you can't say to the world, but this is just what it is, because that's everybody looks at you like a duh, as if if everybody knows in some way. And in the same time, nobody knows in the sense that the world is seen as a place, as someone here, someone there. We have to go to goals. I am here, you are there. So that's not how it. You could say that's not how it is. That's the whole abstract thinking and the whole dream of me believing there's a world, there's someone, and there's good and bad, and always two things. And there's also a free will to get there. And that's a lot of times that when people are talking about there is no me, but in some way there seems also talking to someone and seems that there is a free will to do something. So there are maybe advices or explaining how to do. This is nothing, it has nothing to do with how to do or advice or anything. It isn't not even that it's not needed. It is like it's pointless because there's no one doing it. So that what's happening is already everything. It's already complete. So there is no point in doing, because that what you're doing is also what is. So there is nothing to reach. It's already there, of course. There is no goal. And when there's a me, it seems like, yeah, but there's saying not, I don't really understand, or there's something I can't feel it, or there's always some trying to hear it and just making something else of it, and then having questions about that. And for me, it's a lot of times it's very difficult to hear that this is everything. There's nothing wrong with what's going on, what's happening. And this is not about feeling happy or feeling free or feeling at one or home. It has nothing to do with a feeling. It has nothing to do with a state. It's just describing what is happening. That's the simple thing. It's very simple. It's very normal. The funny thing is when that whole survival system and that me isn't coming up anymore, it's just forgotten. It's just nothing. It's just a dream. And most days, there are a lot of times of the day, there's already also no survival system going on. But sometimes when there are issues, then it seems like very important that you think about it and that there's a me trying to behave or trying to figure out what's the best way of dealing with it. When that's not happening anymore, there's no way of dealing with it. It's just what's happening, and also so there's no escape. So there's something lost. This is not about reaching a goal or reaching no me or things like that. It's about loss. It's about that whole survival system with how to behave and thinking what you can do or what you not have to do. If that's not happening, everything is just full on. So when there's pain, and when there's a woo day like that, and there's nothing going on about wanting to change it or how to change it. It's just like that. So people are most of the time busy with what I want. This is what I want. This is what I not want. This feels good. Also, that's a very, very strong one. If it feels good, it's all right. If it doesn't feel good, we have to do something about it. Oh, one moment. Oh, maar ik zie je niet staan. So John, okay, he has not co-host. Yeah, I did. Okay, now this was the story. Oh God. Okay. I already got what I was talking about. Okay, we start with, if you want to say something about this, or we can have a chat, or maybe you want to share something. That's all right.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Rose. I was wondering when you were saying like that the me is like naming things. So but how is it possible not to name things? Like even when there is no me, I mean, we're so used to name things. I mean, this is like how we go through life. This is this, and we describe things. And so, I mean, how is it possible, like, not to name things? Or maybe you meant something different. I don't know.
No, it's not possible. So don't try, because then that's
Right.
another conversation.
True.
It's just, that's how the me works. That it's naming things, and it doesn't mean that when there's no me, there can be saying like, oh, I am very hungry, or I have pain in my toes, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just going like that, but that's has no meaning in that sense, because it's very clear it's not there. It's just somewhere happening in space, and there's just pain, but it's just a way of speaking that goes on like normal.
Yeah.
But it's when there's a me and you hear this and you think, oh, so it's better not to name it, and how can I do that? Then that's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's pointless, like in that sense. It doesn't matter that you name it. It's a way of explaining also how it works. It's not that it's wrong, or that you have to do it differently. It's how the me works. Like there is something and it jumps on it. No, it's not really jumping, of course, but it's a way of explaining that it jumps on it, and like it's sticky, and then it goes on, what's this all about? And then the whole thought thing, it's going, but it's an energetic thing. It's not you doing it. That's very strange. It's not, oh, I don't, maybe I can stop that. I can stop those thoughts, or maybe it's better. No, but it's energetic. It's embodied energetic. So when the me is there, all me's are different, you could say, but then it's sticky, and there are thoughts coming. That's just how it works. So that's also what's happening. So it's just like, oh yeah, that's going on. When I'm talking to somebody and he or she is talking like that, there's nothing going on like, oh, but there is no one, so no, why not? It's just what's going on there. So it's just energy like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. I mean, do you mean like that when there is no self anymore, there is not really a need and need to name things anymore. It's not needed. I mean, you do it obviously, but it's not like needed to do it.
No, it's not. No, that's it. It's, and a lot of times it's not even coming up. So when sometimes when there's pain or there's a cramp or something like that.
Now I understand.
There's just that cramp, and maybe there are sometimes in the brain. It's so used. This brain is also so used that trying to jump on it and trying to figure out what it is. But then those thoughts can start, but then there's nothing picking it up,
right,
say, and then nothing is happening with that, so they fall away, and I don't know. Then there's a lot of not knowing. It's just not, I don't know. When people say, yeah, well, oh, I don't know. Some conversation I like that, because I have a lot of, what is going on? What did you do then? Did you eat something? I don't know.
I understand. Yeah.
And it doesn't need to know, because it's going away or it's not going away. Yeah, can happen. It's not in the body also. We are so thinking it's in the body and we have to take care of the body, things like that. It's an apparent body. So that's also odd.
Yeah. But the naming or like the explanation or the story is also part of the surviving mechanism. Like it's part of the
it's the abstract. Abstract mind, the abstracting.
Right.
Naming. It's the moment it's picked up, of how do you say it? It's sticky. Then and then it's giving it a name. It's already a story. Because then you can say it is pain. Okay, then that's very neutral. It's pain. But I feel very alone now. That's already a story. It's just, I don't know. There's maybe feeling of sitting there in your own. I don't know. It's very quickly. It's a story, and then there's emotions or a remembering, or so it starts. Some people are very into that. Other people are doing different things.
I was just interested to know about this, because I used to be like in the past time very much like for you. I would have like a physical pain or emotional pain that I would be very much around it and trying to investigate and to find stories and to heal it and all that stuff. And it seems like this is really falling away. I mean, it's like, and for me, it's like very strange, because I used to be very much into it, and and now it's like it's there, and sometimes it's there and it's not there, and it's not there because I'm not really busy with it. So it's
can happen like that.
It can happen. Right.
Ooh.
which is very different. It's just very different to.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to add like to what I was saying before about like emotional pain or physical pain, that it's like it seems, I'm not really sure, but it seems like that what really changed, and it's like when I used to have it like in the past time, that it was much more strong, that I would feel like it's really happening to me, like that the pain, like it's my pain, and it was like happening to me, and now it feels like it's not really so much there anymore. I mean, the pain is still there, but it's not like the sense like it's happening to me is getting like, it seems to get less and less.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
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 And even if like there is pain, I don't, like there is not, that's why like it was beautiful that you talked about like not naming. It was like even the wanting to know why the pain is there, or what kind of disease is it? Like is it like the name, like looking for it, it's not so important anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. But the sense like it's really
Strange.
like,
It can be strange.
yeah, it's very difficult to explain. Like the sense like it's happening to me, it's not so strong anymore. Yeah, I think this is what really changed. Yeah. And therefore, even if it's like in difficult situation, it feels more light. It doesn't feel like as dramatic as it used to be. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's just strange when it's not so strong anymore. So it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You don't know why or how it happened. It's just vanishes. Something vanishes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
you
like,
can say there's darkness and then there's coming light, and then you're lost, because then it can never be the old way again. So it's going on without notice. It's like that. It's just an energetic thing that's going on, and we're thinking we are the ones who doing things, and then suddenly there's something going on that you don't have any control about.
Right. Yes, that's the thing. Yeah. It's really funny. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, it's difficult to put it in words. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. The story is so important for most people. They're in a story, and how important is their story? Because everyone has a different story also, which you are the center in it. Also, it's always about you in the center, and maybe with opinions or with feelings I'm trying to process, and this is the first time I can do that, or things like that. It's endless. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I used to have a diary, a diary to write everything down and to realize and to analyze and to understand. And it's just all gone. And it's very strange. Like it's not strange. It feels very natural actually. But I used to do it really a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a diary. I remember. And then once I had a feeling I did process already so many things and things like that. I was in that. And then I read a diary from my early 20s or something like that. And it was mentioning the same thing. God, I put it away. I didn't want to know.
Yes. Yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
So there is like a loss, but it's very, very difficult to describe what it is. And the me really want to understand, but it's
that's it. Yeah.
It doesn't work. It doesn't.
Yeah, because the me knows solid things, like something, this is going on, but this is about, you can't get hold of it. It's like, huh? Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
The me sees everything as real. So there's a real body, there's real chair, and that's not only this room, but there's an outside world with people in it and other countries and the whole thing. Everything seems very real and very something, and we have opinions about things or feelings or memories or anything, and everything seems very real and really happening. So it's also important because you are in that circumstances, you're in that world with other countries, with other people, with everything really happening to you. And there's a huge feeling of not being good enough, or so there, or maybe it's on the other side, like the world is not good enough. So we have to do things to make the world better. And there's a lot of things trying going on because this can't be it. There's something wrong. So there has to be something, we have to do something, or I have to do something, or what can I maybe feel everything so the body will relax, or there are a lot of concepts about what's the best way, and they're contradicting each other, and there's so many therapy or forms like what is better to do or not better to do, and it's always but not knowing what's really there, what's just the only thing there is. That's very frightening because everything is about, in a way, about control, about free will, having a free will, being there, having a free will to make it right. That's the hope, that's the dream. And this is saying there's no hope. There's no hope. This is it. This is it already. This is paradise. But paradise doesn't mean always happy. Paradise means this is everything. It's just everything. Everything is it. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing right. It's just what's happening, and that's it. That's complete. Everything is complete. The way when there's a feeling and it's like that, then that's what's happening. Nothing wrong, nothing right. It's very simple. It's not complicated. It's only very simple. It's not truth. There's no truth or justice or things like that. It's just, this is what's happening. That's it.
But it seems that like the memory plays like a big role in that. For example, if I had like 2 days ago a discussion with somebody and like it was not a nice discussion, so usually like I would like go around it and remembering about it and thinking about it, you know, I have a whole story about that. But it seems like it's just like it's not like that anymore, and I really forgetting, you know, things like it feels like not so solid anymore. It's not so solid like in the brain, like keep looping again and again and again. This is like sort of falling away, which is
Like coming gap.
Yeah. It feels like less solid. So in a way, like the story is getting not so loud anymore.
Yeah. But the strange thing is, it's never been solid. It's always moving, of course. But the mind and the me is very, very intelligent to fill in the hole with just like movies. It's the same with movies. They're just different scenes, and the mind is capable of making conclusions and things, and then it seems like it's one story. But it never is. It's just they don't have anything to do with each other. That's too difficult. It has to be one story, and because a lot of stories are really they first are very complicated, and also it's when you hear stories there for that person, it's very concrete and normal and okay, and then you tell it, and then they tell it to another person, and they say, "But I don't understand." So there are different ways of seeing it. So it's never complete. It's always filling in and interpreting. And then it gets very complicated also.
Yes, it is. Yeah, true.
And then they're falling holes, so that as if it doesn't work anymore. So it's the holes already were there, but the completion or the trying to complete it, it's not working anymore. So wow, that's it's also more relaxing in that sense.
Yeah.
Mm. This is also very easy because this is when there's some words coming, there are some words coming. There's not trying to convince or to tell the truth or trying to reach people or things like that. That's just sitting, and then suddenly they're coming words or not. That's it. But it's the same there. It's the same, you could say, over there, because it's all also when there's maybe there are thoughts about not getting it, or then there are thoughts. So that's what's happening. That's complete. The thoughts are not your thoughts. It's just happening. That's an energy happening. Well, there's body. There's just sitting. Then there's sitting. Sitting is it? Just sitting or looking. Then there's looking. That's it. That's complete. That's everything. It changes. It's not everything. It's just one feeling or one state or something like that. It's always different, of course. That's why you can't tell how it is, because it's always different. It's always new. So that's it. Very normal. Already there, of course. Yeah.
Rose.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? It's David here. Hello, nice to see you again. A very simple question. Did you used to meditate at all? And what's your view on meditation now?
If I did meditate, you ask?
Yeah, if you used to, yeah.
No, I didn't.
Never.
No, that's not my way. That wasn't my thing.
Mm.
Sometimes you can sit somewhere, some quiet, but not doing that. No, that was not so much my way. Was more into feeling everything or something like that.
Well, maybe meditation does that. Meditation seems to get a bad press in non-duality.
What it
seems? Sorry, it seems to get we say a bad press in English. Bad
no,
name.
No, why not?
Yeah.
If it's nice to just sit there and just sit there, why not? Because, but when the thing is, what the thing is when there's meditating, a lot of times there's trying to make things happen, or to somewhere having a goal to reach a state, or to be completely silent, no thoughts anymore, or things like that. What? Just meditating, why not? Just sitting, it's just sitting. And maybe there's thoughts or not thoughts. Why not? It's just, but it's not different from drinking coffee or going to the pub. It's
Well, no, I think
same.
it is. I mean, physically, it is different. It's very good for your heart,
Yeah.
for example.
Oh, it's good for you.
In a way, oh yeah.
Oh,
Certain
but
kinds of meditation. I'm not particularly a meditator. I was years ago, but oh, it's amazing for blood pressure and things like that. But that it's just like taking a tablet.
well, that's the.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, it may not be worth much more than that.
But
I don't like the
concept that there's a body and you have to take care of it. There's just only an apparent body. It's not real. It's just energy. And maybe there are a lot of science and things going on about this is good for your body and this is bad, or da. And okay, that can be there. But in the same time, this is saying the body is apparent. It's not your body, but it's also apparent. So it's just energy, and maybe there's something with the heart or not. I don't know. I don't know. It's apparent. There's nothing really happening. So I can't talk about that. I can't say that it's good for something. I don't know.
yeah. I struggle with that a bit because it's causing it's very dualistic language to say yes, it's very cause and effect to say, I'm turning this on its head. If you meditate, you're working against something happening.
Yeah.
Okay. You may not have said that. I've certainly heard other people say that a lot, actually. But that's as dualistic as it gets, actually.
It's very convincing, and you get science with it and things like that. So it's
no, but I think I'm saying the opposite.
Oh, okay.
You know, equally, if you say if you meditate, if you meditate, it will be an obstruction to any kind of arising of this thing.
An obstruction.
An obstacle. It's an obstacle.
Meditate. Nothing is an obstacle. Nothing can be an obstacle.
Yeah, I'm actually speaking to the wrong person here because you probably haven't said that. But some people, you know, very, very well respected speakers have more than implied that. And it's as dualistic as it gets.
But there can't be an obstacle because everything is it. So how can meditating be an obstacle? It's just meditating, it's just sitting like that. So what? It's not someone.
No, I would entirely agree.
Sorry?
But it is the case that many people in non-duality circles are seem embarrassed to admit that they meditate.
Okay. But then there's
a
subtle thing of free will going on, because then that's better not to do it. So who's doing it? And it seems to be a subtle free will thing in between then. Why can't it's not someone doing that? To whom is it saying, or he or she is it saying, like it's just apparently happening. So why bother?
Yeah, but I mean, I know. If you burn your finger, it's nice to put cream on it. Yeah. Putting cream in it will happen. If your heart is running too fast, meditation is just like cream on your finger. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, but there's no one doing it, so it's not a decision. Then when the heart is like this, and then it seems like there is somebody choosing to do that. It's what's happening. It's energetic. It has nothing to do with that an individual or something or free will.
Exactly, and that's why to dismiss meditation for me would be what's the word?
But it's not
careful
the
with
misconception is then that meditation is the wrong thing. It's not about the meditation is the thing. It's the thinking that there's someone doing that. That's the misunderstanding. That there's a me doing that. It's not about misunderstanding that your meditation is an obstacle. It's like the misunderstanding is like there's someone doing that, and that there's someone doing it with a free will, or it's just an energetic happening. So maybe they're sitting still. That's what's happening. It's energetic. So what? There can be everything. But it's just what's happening. Nothing is wrong. Of course not. That's wow. That's the unconditional love. That everything.
I know that, but it's not always the way it comes across. Sometimes it's not always the way it comes across. But that's just it as well. I mean, that's just the situation as well. I mean,
of course.
You know, certain speakers are dismissed as being inferior, or it happens all the time. You know, and that is just what's happening. But you know,
but it's
Eckhart Tolle seems to be Eckhart Tolle seems to be the devil incarnate in some areas. Why? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can mention that there's misunderstanding. That's not wrong, but it's
no, you're really play. Oh, you've gone. Sorry. I'm sorry. No, but you're really playing with words there. You used the word misunderstanding. You're into a relative thing again. And for me, and I am being slightly devil's advocate here, we say in English. I like to argue. It can be fun. Oh, I think the link's gone again. But there can be a sense in non-duality that it is the final route, and that's it. There's a sense of that sometimes, I think. And that certain people who espouse, who speak about it, are not really the real thing. You could call it a misunderstanding if you like. The misunderstanding is a very loaded dualistic word, I'm afraid. And it comes back to the business of the difficulty of staying within those absolute parameters all the time. Linguistically, conceptually, concepts not allowed. And you just have to give up in despair, actually. And I'm probably not expressing it very well, but I'm just sharing something.
But when there's something wrong, then it's not the same message. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah, but misunderstanding is not a neutral term.
The misunderstanding is that there's someone. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I see that there's a misunderstanding, because then the whole thing's going on about. It's not about meditating is right or wrong. It's about there's someone meditating, and that's there isn't someone. So that's I that there's a misunderstanding, because a lot of people, I see it like that's just a normal thing. That's no discussion about that. And then we are talking about some things that's going on. And this is there. It isn't seen. It's not a new vision or something. It's just seen there. There's only seen a body. So you could say the other way around. Like how do you know there's someone? I don't see it. I see just body. Like that. That's it.
But again, the misunderstanding is just arising.
Yeah, of course. It's not wrong.
Stick to those parameters. It's just arising.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not even worth. In a way, it's not worth talking about. It's just what's happening. A misunderstanding. So well, Anyway. Okay. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks.
There's a chat. If all is a dream, nothing has happened. Can we say that nothing is happening? Yeah, we can say that. I don't think the me can say that, but yeah, there's nothing happening. It's only apparently happening. So it seems like everything, like you see all furniture or circumstances, it seems very real, but it's not real. It's apparently real. So it's not there and it's apparently there. So it's not there and it is there and it's not there. It's there and it's apparently there. So there's just nothing. And there's everything that's in the same time, apparently. So that's, you can't imagine. It's just energy. Yeah. But there's a difference between what is happening. There's just what's happening, so moving the hand, you could say. And the dream is the whole thing, what the me is going on, like, why did I do that? All those thoughts and all that whole survival system, in the center, there's a me going on, trying to change what is happening or trying to make it right or doing something with it. That whole survival system with the me on top of it, that's the dream. So that's what I call the dream. And the rest is just moving or walking or thoughts. That's just what's happening, apparently. Sometimes there's the thinking that silence is better than having a lot of thoughts. So we're trying to get rid of those thoughts. So there are a lot of methods about that. But silence is just what's happening, and then there's thoughts, what's happening. Nothing is better than anything else. Nothing is better than anything else. Wow, that's huge. That everything has the same quality. It's the same in that sense. Like there's nothing more important than something else. There's nothing better than something else. There's nothing having more quality. It's just different. So that's the only thing. Wow, that's the freedom. It's just everything in different form, different shape, different energy, different emotions. Just that. That's it. Nothing
Rose.
more important or trying to reach it. Yeah.
Hello, Rose, me again. I suppose the problem, again, no problems, of course, but let's imagine that there are, or one issue from your point of view, a speaker's point of view, is that this, whatever it is, cannot be understood, wrong word again. But none of this will make sense at all until it happens, or rises, whatever the words, the words are difficult. But in addressing so-called people with this, in a way, that's what you're up against, which is, if it hasn't arisen, there's no chance of it making sense. Fascinating, it's absolutely fascinating. But in terms of it actually resonating, or do you know what I mean? It's impossible. Many people have said that, not just me, that just forget trying to communicate anything in a way. I mean, it's so wonderfully useless.
Yeah, but trying to forget is also not possible. So
no, and if it happens, it happens. But the number of people that this has arisen in, again, all the wrong words, who say, can't you see this? Can't you see it? It's so obvious. It's so obvious. Well, of course, most people can't.
But somewhere there can be a resonance. So everybody knows in a way. But some have some resonance, and that's, I don't know. Yeah, that's what energetically. Yeah, it's not in the words, of course, or although words can unravel maybe concepts or something like that. That's underneath the words, of course.
There was a famous, I can't remember who it was, I think he was a Catholic saint or philosopher, and way back in the 10th century or something. And he's very, very famous. I don't know much about these things, but I think he wrote something like, I don't know, 8 million words about theology, a massive amount of stuff. I wish I could remember who he was, because there's a very famous expression came from it. And he was in church one day, blah, blah, blah. And this thing hit him. And people thought he'd kind of gone mad, actually. So he has all this writing about this stuff in his own way. But his final, he didn't write again. He said, look, I've just realized that everything I've written is a complete waste of time. I think he described it as a straw in the wind, these 8 million words. And then he died, I can't remember. It was Thomas Aquinas or somebody like that. And that's from a kind of mainstream religion point of view. There are many, many others, And, I think the story of the Buddha with the flowers, very, no, the sermon, the sights. No, but it's the silent sermon. There was 1,000 people there, apparently. And he just lifted up this flower and looked at it. And one person in the audience got it. And of course, it could have been a lump of shit. It didn't matter. Flower, cup of tea, lump of shit. He just held it up. And then, the kind of this other guy carried on the lineage sort of thing. But a simplicity that most people don't see for whatever non-apparent reason. And I think I'd say from your point of view.
And it's not trying to say to have, I don't want, how can I say, there's not an agenda with trying to reach people with this or something.
No, but I mean, we're apparently here listening to you and you're apparently speaking to us. And I suppose we have to talk about something or not.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, talking happens. So this is words coming. Yeah, it's an energetic thing that apparently that's coming out.
Sure, but
it doesn't matter if somebody hears it or not. It doesn't matter. Because that's that's it, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not about that people will hear it.
No, but I think if you can, and I'm sure you're very capable of doing this, in the story, again, I find it so frustrating, this relative and absolute, and how in non-duality they don't exist. You know, there's only the one thing. At least in Buddhism, which I'm not a Buddhist, you can move in and out of the relative and absolute, and but you have to use your words so carefully here. But prior to something that arose in this body mind, Rose, there was a particular seeking, energy, etc., etc. And whereas I'm sure what you're saying is absolutely the case, it doesn't really matter what's said,
It's
who's
also
listening.
just a story. It's just a story.
Yes, I know,
You
but
can say,
yeah, but can you remember how painful it was for you? Or was it not?
the suffering,
Yes.
pain.
The seeking.
It was there, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You
So
forget, you
do forget, but I think
Yeah.
in that case, in this current situation, when you're saying, look, it doesn't matter, blah, 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 all I'm suggesting is, I don't know, you may have forgotten what the suffering was like, if imaginary or not. And maybe there's a case of being cruel to be kind, as we say in English. You know, you have to be cruel to be kind. You know,
going on about there are other people, so there's nothing going on about trying to make things more comfortable or more, I don't know. There is nothing going. There's just this is coming out, and it can be rude or can be anything. There's nothing.
Sure.
There's
and
no
I
agenda.
think I might be.
Just coming out.
No, yeah, and I might be being quite rude just now. I'm being as honest. I'm just being honest, you know. But the notion of thinking back to what it was like, inverted commas, in an imaginary past, the pain, the suffering of most seekers. Maybe ignoring it is the best way, and being cruel to be kind, because it can feel cruel. I'm not saying you're cruel. But people can walk away feeling very, very.
There are no people. It's just that seems that there is a story with people sitting there feeling something because of there's just what's happening. So that's it. That's only what is said, and that's it. And then can be a lot of stories around and things thinking, and that can happen, but it has nothing to do with this message or talking about it. It's just talking, not to people. It's just talking. That's it. I don't see individual people there. It's only screen also. When we are in the 60s, people would say, what are you doing talking to a screen? Well, okay, you can imagine there are people and da. But it's just seeing that. That's it. Talking. That's it. No agenda, no meaning, no suggestion or anything. No. It doesn't need to be, because that's what's happening, the way it's listening. That's it. That's it already. So
yeah. Okay. Again, it's not fair to quote other people. I know that, but look, come on, it doesn't matter. And I'm certainly not going to mention names. I mentioned this to somebody recently, a speaker. His response was, how could I possibly forget how that felt? It was so horrendously, that sense of isolation. Oh, sorry, you've gone.
Yeah. Okay.
That was his response. Yours might be different. And I fully accept both, actually. Fully accept both.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my internet connection is not very good. So, but thank you again.
Yeah,
thanks.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
I see a chat also. Moving a hand also is an apparent happening. So it's not happening. No, it's happening, and it's not happening and apparently happening. Yeah, that's the apparent thing. Yeah. strange because it seems very real, but it's just energy. It's apparent. So it is there and it's not at the same time. Wow. It doesn't need, it is not needed that you can see that, because some people say, oh, the apparent thing, I don't see that, so it's not yet, I'm not that far yet, or something like that. Doesn't matter. When there's something else, then there's solid things, then there seems to be solid things. So what? But for me, it can be frustrating, or that there's still that search, that feeling of loss or not being good enough or something like that. That's can be very strong. So there can be a lot of knowing, and still there is something not right yet, or something searching. Or that's the suffering also. This is also not about the truth, or that this is important to hear, so you can, maybe it's more easy that you feel what the me is or not the me is, or something like that. This is also just what's happening. It's not important. Nothing needs to be repeated or understood, or that you think, oh, I didn't know, I can't remember what she said. Maybe no, it doesn't matter. It's just life. Life. Nothing. Life doesn't need anything. It's just a normal thing. Sitting. You don't need me to say that they're sitting. It's just sitting. That's it. It's very easy, very simple. It's even closer than close. It's just already there. Just sitting. That's it. The me thinks sitting, yeah. It's not about sitting. That's boring, or that's, yeah. Is that it, or something like that? Yeah, because that's, the me is always looking from outside, you could say. And then it's looking to, oh, this is just sitting, and then there's a distance, and then there's a feeling of something missing, or not in it, or something like that. That's the longing. When you say energetic, what do you mean by that? Everything is energetic. So it's when you have your hands, the hands, it seems solid, but it's just energy. But through light or anything, it seems that there are that's the image of hands, and we are very visual. So we are so that everything you see is solid. That's when there's separation. Then you see it from, you look at it, everything you see, you look at it, and then it seems solid. And then, yeah, because we are so long already into that, it's very convincing. And then you say, oh, you can feel it, it feels solid, then you push on it or something like that. And then there's somebody saying, oh, but it's not solid. Then you think, but of course, that's my experience, it's just solid. And this is energy. It's just energy, and it seems like a computer, but it's just energy. Energy. It's in the form of an apparent computer. So it's not solid, it's particles, it's molecules or things like that. It's moving. And through light and how it works. I'm not so into nature of that kind of thing, but it's just the light makes it very, it seems to be real. And also to look at it and think, and the experience of years and years seeing it like that. There's in the world, you could say in the story, everybody is very convinced that there's someone and there's a whole world and there are things and events, and it can be strange to hear, oh, it's not solid, oh, and some people are just walking away, and some people are like, oh, that's another possibility, hey, what's going on there? And maybe there's some curiosity or openness to some other possibility that's talked about here. this is not about something. This is about everything. And everything is it. So when you're closing the computer, then that's what's happening. That's complete. That's just it. That's one. That's everything. And the way you do it, maybe do it very hard or very softly. It's just what's happening. It's not you doing it. It's just what's happening. So the behavior is just an energetic thing. It's just behavior in that way. So that can be anything. And it seems like a real world and real persons and real happenings. It's only an apparent happening, but so what? You don't need to understand what's apparent. If it's nothing going on about that, then that's what's happening. But some way it can be crazy to hear this, and it was so solid that there was someone with a real body and everything is real, and suddenly there's a hearing of something else, some other message about complete something else that seems very strange, and still there's maybe something about it, and maybe you can't understand, maybe there's a lot of things are going on, but somewhere it's coming in, and you don't need to know, you don't need to understand, but still there can underneath there can something coming in and destroy some beliefs, and it's not even noticed, so it can be go on like that. This is about loss. This is about loss, losing everything. And there it is. Then losing everything, it seems like, nothing is there anymore. And then also, it's everything. Of course, it's everything. And everything is not something. Everything is a movement, hearing, talking, anything what seems to happen. So that's already there. The way that the hand is going, the feeling somewhere, that's it. That's complete. That's everything. It's already everything. Nothing wrong, nothing right. It's just what it is. Crazy. Thank you for listening. For listening also. I don't know if you listen.